this episode, we have two weddings. Someone might get left at the altar, and Rob acted a little nice. This weekend has been crazy for me, so I'm sorry if this video is a little late. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. So let's do this. After waiting 2 weeks, we get hit with Nikki and Igor. Let's just cover them super quickly. They're getting ready to say bye to each other while she realizes that Igor has a shirt with her face on him, and he is showing his booty cheeks. Yeah. She also tells us that she sees a bright future with him because I guess after the engagement party they had sex.
I'm happy, my coochie's happy, his pee-pee's happy.
Igor's mom says bye to her and gives her a bag full of jewelry. She says that she's going to miss her. And then while Nikki is on her way to the airport, she realizes that she's never going to leave Igor because in him, he found a family that accepted her for who she is, and she's not sure she'll ever be able to find that again. I fast forward for the rest of their section, but not much happened. Now off to Rob and Sophie. Rob is dropping off Sophie at the flower shop, but won't be coming down with her.
My mum and Rob haven't really, made up or spoken since the whole big fight. And ultimately, that's just because I think me and Rob have been putting each other first.
It is clear that there is a lot of tension between Claire and him because he didn't even want to say hi to her.
So why didn't you come in?
I think obviously it's a bit awkward that, you guys have argued.
And because of what we have seen in the previous episodes, it is clear that Sophie is not going to side with her mom anymore because she doesn't want to upset Rob. Claire is frustrated, but she's going to let it fly. And when she asks Sophie if her and Rob have been fighting, they have not. Because they have been avoiding anything that could possibly throw them into a fight, which is clearly not the best thing to do since all they're doing is piling up issues on top of one another. Claire says, "Have you heard about the frog in Prince's story?" Sophie says, "I call him a frog."
Yeah, well, when you put that ring on him, he'll turn into Prince Charming. I doubt very much it's going to happen.
He won't be becoming a prince. I have to agree with her here. I don't think a kiss and a paper that says you guys are married is going to fix his narcissistic side. I just want to touch on the bouquet really quick because what are those? As always, Sophie feels like her mom is overbearing and she wants her to be a little less harsh on him. She says that all couples have issues and they are not an exception. Sophie and Rob are packing so they can get ready to go to Santa Barbara because they are going to spend one night at the hotel before the wedding. But it turns out that Claire is also spending tonight with them so she can Uber tomorrow. Sophie has realized that even though things are great between her and her mom, it is not the same between Claire and Rob. And she wants them to put their differences aside for her.
Well, after we have 3 people and a dog in here, I don't want to hear about how small the room is from you or her.
All right, that's fine.
Stupid comment again. There is many ways to talk to your partner about a concern you have, and this was not it. When Claire arrives, Rob is literally just sitting there, very unhappy, just waiting for her to say something so they can start fighting with each other. She thanks Rob for letting her stay with them, and he tells her it is because he doesn't want her missing the wedding. When he's getting the inflatable bed, Claire can tell that he doesn't want her staying with them.
I can clearly tell you don't want me to stay, but...
So she brings it up, and then he says that they're the ones that invited her over, and the only thing that he wants is for her to keep her "there's no space" comments to herself, which I think is totally okay for him to ask.
Normally you go in a house and the host will make you feel welcome, and he's just gone and sat on the bed.
But I think both of them are just fed up with each other and they're just looking for a reason to pick on one another. She's starting to get heated and tells Sophie that she doesn't even want to be here. And I was wondering the same thing. Like, why didn't she go somewhere else? Doesn't she have the money for a hotel? The tension can be cut with a knife. So Sophie decides to take her mom outside so she can cool down. While they're separated like the little children they are, Claire suggests to Sophie to go get a hotel with her, but she shuts it down pretty quickly. We saw what happened last time when she did, and I don't think She wants to relive that situation.
This is awful.
Right.
Like, literally awful.
Right.
Rob and Claire acknowledge that both of them had a bad reaction to what happened. There's so much at play right now.
If I was lacking in being welcoming, maybe I'd put some more effort into being more welcoming.
I actually handled that really badly.
Clay doesn't feel welcome, which triggered her response, and Rob is still mad about his fight with her. But the moment they go inside, they realize that Rob blew up the mattress and put the sheets on it, so he gets 2 points for this. Claire says thank you and throws some nice comments towards him, and they finally have a civil conversation.
I will say one thing. Just stay like this
Yeah.
forever and it'll all be good.
For our first wedding, we get Gino and Jasmine.
I'm getting married to Gina, my gringa bonito.
She is telling us that they're going to get ready into separate locations because in Latin American culture, the groom is not supposed to see the bride until she walks down the aisle. Gino feels ecstatic knowing that his family is going to be there to witness his wedding, and how also his uncle Marco agreed to walk Jasmine down the aisle to give her a little peace of mind. You know, Marco, the uncle that was against this marriage since the beginning, that Marco. When Jasmine was getting ready, she only had the stylist with her, which made me a little sad since she didn't have anyone else with her. You usually have your bridesmaids, your mom, friends, and she's all alone. The moment she sees herself in the mirror, she starts shedding tears. She looked absolutely stunning, even without the dress on.
I feel beautiful.
Oh, you're getting married.
I know.
I want to give a shout out to the stylist for hyping Jasmine up while she had no one else around her. I can only imagine how difficult this was for her. So now Jasmine tells her stylist that she is very excited to hear Gino's vows and also hopes that he cries when he sees her. Jasmine's like, he better, because if not, I'm going to have to stomp on him with my heels. That's Jasmine we know.
Stop on with my high heels.
No, you just gotta walk down the aisle again.
Once she's ready, she wants to call her sister to say hi, and here her sister tells her that she looks stunning and that she's wearing a red dress because that's what she would have worn to be her bridesmaid. Jasmine tells her, "You are my bridesmaid."
Niña, tú eres mi dama de honor, niña.
Yo lo sé.
As much as we pick on Jasmine at times, I hate having to see her have a wedding without her family around. And then when we come back to Gino, he's talking about how this is going to be the best moment of his life.
And we're finally here, and I'm so excited.
Again, you can see the differences between them too. Jasmine is very sad because her family is not there, and Gino is literally surrounded by every single family member that was able to make it to the wedding.
And I'm so excited.
When Jasmine is looking at herself in the mirror, she looks gorgeous. And the moment that she puts the veil on, I was stunned.
The last thing we have is the veil. The veil? Oh my goodness.
Now she wants to take some pictures so she can send them to her mom and wants to compose herself because to her, Gino deserves to have a happy bride and both of them deserve to enjoy their special day. Gino also made sure to have a laptop right at the front so Jasmine's family can enjoy the wedding, which I thought was super sweet. Uncle Marco walks into the room and Jasmine tells him that she always imagined her wedding to be perfect, but always wondered who was going to walk her down the aisle because she never had a father figure. So having him there is incredibly special to her.
And I would remember this as one of my most happiest memories.
I always get super emotional for weddings, and this was not an exception. They say their vows, they get married, and at the reception, they say they have an announcement, and I was thinking that they were moving to a different state, but no, they're just going to start trying for a child. One crazy thing that happened in this episode was that Gino took off his hat for Jasmine. She asked him to please get a photo for the wedding without the hat, and I just have to say, Gino, embrace the baldness because it looks good on you. And with that, we cheer for the newlyweds.
We did it!
We did it.
And now, we are together for an eternity.
Yay! If your biggest fear is to be left at the altar, you might want to exit this video right now. As we remember last episode, we got the stripper dilemma where Clayton had a bad reaction to the news and Annalie avoided all questions because according to her, Clayton has a history of not letting things go. So it is the next day after Annalie decided to sleep apart from Clayton, and she's telling us that she wants to call her mom and ask her for her opinion.
Él siempre ha sido así y por eso es que me da miedo vivir un futuro con estas peleas continuas.
At the end of the day, she's going to end up making her own decision, but I'm pretty sure she would like some guidance right now. She knows that at times she makes decisions that she might regret in the future, and that's when she likes to step aside and gather her thoughts, which I do too. When she's on the phone with her mom, she doesn't really offer any type of real advice. She just tells her, you know, are you really going to throw away 2 years of a relationship over a small argument?
Ya pues, hija, eso sería botar a la basura más de 2 años.
Or, you know, couples fight, so what's the big deal? The problem is that Annalie is scared that this is what her life is going to look like forever, and that's not something that she wants for herself. Well, in the other room, Clayton is sweating because he still hasn't talked to Annalie, and it is 5 hours into the wedding. So he decides to send her a voice message that, in my opinion, even though it was a sweet message, it was an empty apology. He also sends her some guinea pig kisses, hoping that they will make Annalie change her mind and attend the wedding.
Te amo mucho, mi chiquis. Te amo al infinito. Bye. Beso de cuy.
Cameron and him meet up to go to the venue and make sure that everything is ready. We see a seat reserved for his brother that passed away 5 years ago in an accident. And of course, with all the emotions running high, Clayton starts tearing up. He always hoped that his brother would attend his wedding, and now he's not even sure if this wedding is even going to take place.
Just him leaving in an unexpected way, you can't really prepare for that type of thing.
I gotta admit that this part made me very emotional because I cannot imagine losing one of my family members and having to put up an empty seat at my wedding. Well, I already had a wedding, but yeah. Even though Annalie still hasn't messaged him, her mom has. And she told him that Annalie just doesn't want him bringing up this stuff all the time. And that was it. I'm not sure if there was more information missing from the last message because now Clayton is more stressed than before he got it.
I don't know what to take away from this message, really, besides... No, I don't know.
Back with Annalie, she is saying she wishes that she had more time to really think about this before marrying him.
Pienso que si no estuviéramos en esta situación me hubiera encantado tener más tiempo para poder decidir si quiero hacerlo o no.
But guess what? You need to make a decision sooner rather than later. We know that Annalie already opened the message but has not replied, so that makes it even worse for Clayton. At the worst case scenario, she doesn't show up and we get a runaway bride. The guests are arriving, time is moving, and Annalie is nowhere to be seen. It has been 30 minutes and she still hasn't shown. Bradley's also crying, saying that she feels sad for him, even though she was instigating a couple episodes ago.
She might not even show up today. I don't know what's running through Clayton's mind. I honestly feel sad for him.
And maybe she feels like she's going to get blamed if Annalie doesn't show up because she was the one that got the stripper. But at the same time, this is not all on her because these issues that Clayton and Annalie have are not things that happened yesterday. So Clayton is starting to feel that it is about time to start talking to the guests and have them go home.
If Annalie wanted to leave and go home, I'm not going to stop her from going back to her country.
And this is where the producers leave us. So I'm definitely super excited to see what happens next week and if she does show up. Moving on to Citra and Sam. Now that they have completed their Muslim ceremony, it is time to have their legal wedding. And when they're talking to Dad, Sam says, when the priest says I do, when the priest says this, when the priest says that. I was just wondering who was going to pick this up. Then Dad asked, it's not going to be a priest, right? And well, It is, because that's all they could get. They also tried to get the imam to officiate the wedding, but he wasn't able to do so.
Ya maksudnya jangan ada prosesi di luar Islam, nggak ada kitab selain Al-Quran.
So at this point, Citra tells him they need to find someone else to do it because Dad doesn't want the priest to pull the Bible and pray to a Christian God. This to me shows the little amount of information that Sam consumed to convert into the Muslim religion, to the point that him and Citra messed up on something so important. Now, Sam needs to try to find an officiant with 0 to no time to marry them. As Citra and Sam are getting ready, Sam is talking to his brother, telling him how worried and nervous he is because he needs to find someone to marry them. And his brother casually says, Luke can marry you guys.
My brother Luke is ordained. I had no idea. It really sounds too good to be true.
What a coincidence. So now Sam and his brother are going to ask Luke. And of course he says yes. It turns out that a couple years ago he got his license just for the fuck of it. And now it comes in handy.
And here I am today marrying my brother, which is pretty cool, pretty kick-ass.
I guess you can say that God was on their side. But it is not as simple as it sounds, because I guess now he has to ask Citra's dad for permission because he's a Christian.
Oke Sam, saya setuju dengan apa yang tadi diputuskan Sam. Kalau Luke ada kerabat yang bisa membantu, saya sangat terima kasih.
I'm glad that Dad agreed, because if not, I would have lost my mind. When the pastor arrives, now Sam has to break the news to him that he can't marry them. He's like, you know, I'm Muslim and I didn't do my homework, so now I have to fire you. Yeah. When we come back to Citra, she looks gorgeous. Her makeup, her hair, everything about her is just perfect. And when her dad walks in, he is shocked.
Kakak cakep banget. Kamu kayak Cinderella.
He tells her if your mother were here, she would be so happy seeing you. And then Citra shares that when her mom passed away, she became best friends with her dad and says how much she misses her.
It's just really sad. Like, she's not here with me.
It's always very sad to me to think of all the immigrants that get married with their family members missing, either because of immigration laws or because they passed away. The moment Sam sees Citra, he goes,
Oh, you look beautiful, babe.
He was so happy looking at her, and of course he can't wait for tonight. But then this menso decides to propose to her right at the altar.
Will you marry me, baby?
Yes, I'm here.
Pretty cool, pretty kick-ass.
Even Citra's like, bro, get up, I'm already here. This was sweet, funny, and interesting because Luke was just reading off his phone, but it was still beautiful to see them get married. They also said that their first kiss was great, but do we believe them that this was their first kiss? And as an extra, Sam's mom apologizes for not attending the Muslim ceremony and says that this is not because she didn't want to do it. It is the fact that Nana got sick.
You sure?
I swear on the Holy Bible, my Lord up above, I was going to come.
So Didi, I would like to apologize for saying you abandoned Sam. As we already knew, Sam is super excited, so he carries Citra up to the room.
I'm waiting for this night since day one.
I don't know what they do. I was really surprised because I actually thought that they were going to wait till the end of the night, not that they were going to do it right away. So yeah, and that's all we get for this episode. For next episode, we're going to get Igor dumping Nikki. Finally, we are gonna find out if Clayton actually gets left in the altar.
How do you explain that to people? You know, it's hard enough to explain it to myself.
And we're gonna hear Ashley screaming like my dog. I'm actually gonna try to record him screaming so I can put them side to side and compare them with each other because I was cracking up when I saw her. And that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.